So it is December 9th as I'm recording this. We are potentially hours or maybe a day or so away from a potential decision announcement on a Bitcoin spot ETF. The market is being incredibly volatile. Bitcoin already hit 47,000. But the question is what happens here? And I want to share with you some thoughts, some warnings, and a look at the chart for not just the very near term, but also the coming weeks after that. So let's dive in. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow my page on Instagram, and I would really appreciate it if you just hit that like button or that thumbs up to be able to get this out to more people. Right, so you can see here Bitcoin is sitting at $46,676. It is pretty high, and one thing to really see here is that we are getting very, very close to the key level that I've been looking for as a retracement. So this entire bear market of 2022, from the high to the low, we put a Fibonacci retracement on there, and that is this level. So between 48 and 53, that has been the target for the longest time, basically since we started up. That was the bullish target. You can see here these circled highs over here. This is basically a very strong resistance. So the bulls, if we want to get a full-blown bull market, we need to flip this to support, and then the all-time high likely becomes the next target. The danger is, though, here we could also see a short-term rejection, as this tends to happen within trends also. So the fact that we moved up so strong, basically from 24,000 to now almost 48, we did basically a 2x without any sort of major pullback, just some sideways consolidations. Now we have this ETF coming up that is really being hyped everywhere. So let me share with you real quick some other things before we go into this chart and before we look at the technicals even further. So number one, today you can see the fear and greed index for crypto is at extreme greed. Okay, not just greed, extreme greed. We've been at greed for most of the last month. Now we are at extreme greed leading into this potential announcement because everyone is hyping this up in a major way. A lot of people are expecting the ETF to get approved as a given, maybe within the next 48 hours. And obviously a lot of people are speculating that this is going to be very, very bullish, as it now creates a compliant investment vehicle where wealthy people can park billions and billions of dollars in. And while that may end up being the case if it does get approved, that might not start happening right away. So it's not like the ETF gets approved and then all of a sudden we continue to pump. We could also have a delay or a rejection. I think at this point they actually have to make a decision. I'm not 100% sure. But seeing this extreme greed going into this announcement is never really a comfortable sign, because once the masses get too one-sided on the opinion of the direction and assuming that things are a certainty, usually there is a bit of a flush in the opposite direction, simply to clear out all those late people jumping on the bandwagon, buying the top. So they've been on the sideline, now they're starting to buy in because ETF, it's going way higher, right? They're starting to long in with leverage after the coins have pumped 5x, 10x, even coins have done 20x already. So this is a bit of a warning sign over here. Then if we look at the liquidation map, okay, and this is just basically calculated based on the amount of leverage orders that are currently in positions, based on the liquidation, which is an order once price hits a certain level away from the margin. There's basically a type of order. That's how it calculates this. I'm not going to get into detail. But if you can see here, this is the current price with the dotted line. And you can see just the difference in the amount of liquidations to the upside, right? So you can see here, there's some here all the way up to about 50,000. But then there is a massive amount now all the way down to about 40,000. And I've shared this in the last video. In January of 2021, we also had a major flush where a Bitcoin went from about 42,000 to 29,000 in a period of less than 3 weeks. So we could be setting up for some sort of similar repeat. Now, if we do get an ETF approval, there will probably be some sort of big wick to the upside on that announcement. And we could see this, right? We're just under 47. We could see this sweep all the way up to 50, maybe even 53,000. So taking you back here to the chart, you can see that we're sitting here. If we get some ETF announcements, we could potentially just see easily into the Fib Golden Pocket to 50, maybe even 53 over here. But at that point, the scales are so kind of one-sided that we could also just as easily then see a flush all the way back to 40 and maybe just hang around here before continuing higher. Okay, so that is basically the scenario I want to warn you about. Right now at 47 is not really a time to just be YOLOing in, especially with leverage, because at this point the market could go either direction with thousands of dollars based on whatever this announcement is going to be. And we have this just technical target. If there was no announcement or anything like this, look at this run up going into this extreme greed, mass liquidations to the downside if this drops. And the main thing here that I want to bring to your attention is if this happens, there is still no big deal. This is the key. You can see this is a 3-day chart of Bitcoin. The 3-day 50 moving average is the line in the sand. That means we can drop all the way back down there without invalidating the bullish trend. So we could drop pretty much as low as about $34,000 and it would still be a bullish trend. It could still be a bull cycle where it could drop as low as this and then continue higher into the halving. That's still a possibility. Keep in mind, we have the halving in approximately 3 months from now, just a little bit over 3 months. So that is still coming. So we could very much still see a repeat of some sort of flush in a very quick way. Okay, maybe I drew this a little bit off date, so don't go off the dates. It's just more about the price action. So we could get a flush and then straight back up also. So I wouldn't be surprised on an announcement, maybe we go up to 50, 53 even, and then see a massive sell-off as people take profits. These circled highs over here would be taken, and we could just see a very, very quick dump to potentially 40,000 or maybe into the mid 30,000s. That would absolutely liquidate a ton of people. Basically everyone who's long on leverage, even with lower leverages, into the mid 30Ks in a matter of 1 to 2 days or 3 days. It can happen. We've seen it happen in Bitcoin before in the crypto markets. So just be careful for that. Manage your risk, manage your leverage. With spot, there's not really an issue because you have no liquidation risk. So even if the price does temporarily pull back 20, 30%, maybe on alts 40, 50% in case of a flush like that, if the bullish trend is still here and continuing, then within the next couple of months, we probably see get it back to these levels and probably beyond. And that potential is still here, very much like my theory that I've been saying for months and months and months already, which is so far playing out, is that we front run this and potentially peak in April or May. The higher the prices go over the coming weeks, the more likely that scenario becomes, in my opinion. So if we somehow flush up here, drop back, quick flush, back up, we reclaim and flip this fib golden pocket, then we could see this pretty quickly. And again, that would just simply be a matter of just simply repeating the price action that has already occurred. You can see over here. So imagine we get something like this, we see a move up, we see a flush here. Maybe it's something like this, right? We go to 53, we drop back to 40, maybe mid 30s, and then just have a massive continuation after that. After all the leverage has been flushed, everyone is fearful. Maybe people panic selling here thinking the bull trend is over. Continue back up and maybe take out the previous high somewhere between 70 and 90,000 and potentially peak in April or May. That is still what I'm leaning towards. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. Let's see what the next couple of days are going to bring, if we're going to get an ETF approval or not. Just warning you, be careful with the leverage. Make sure that your risk is managed, that you're not overextended, and that if we do get a flush of $10,000 or $15,000 to the downside after this announcement, that it's not going to wreck you or ruin you. And in fact, that might actually end up being the best buying opportunity that we might get for the remainder of the bull cycle, if that is still in play, just like we did in January in 2021 and also in the March 2020 flash crash. If we get those crazy flushes and downside crashes, they tend to be incredible buying opportunities for those that are willing to step in and buy those fear after it drops, because usually in a bullish trend it quickly recovers and gets bought up again. So if you want more real-time updates from me, be sure to join me inside my VIP membership. The link is in the description down below. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so no risk to you. Come and join us. I'm in Discord every day sharing these type of charts, answering questions, trade setups on altcoins, all that kind of stuff. If you want that, I mean, I do share on YouTube here once or twice a week, but in Discord, it is literally every day. You get to interact with me personally, with the community of more than 2,000 members. And like I said, it's risk-free. So come and join us. The first link in the description down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.